Exclusive Breaking Insider. What did the top pimp in Zhongnanhai, Dongsheng Do before he became a cropper? The CCP regime can never be trusted. On the 27th of January 2019, a Chinese entrepreneur escaped from the Chinese mainland and arrived in San Francisco. With his arrival, a confidential document from the Chinese government was exposed. The confidential document clearly stated how Li Dongsheng, the former director of the 610 office, the so-called central government agency responsible for combating cults and handling cult-related issues, gave the direct command to carry out the persecution of Falun Gong. Who is Li Dongsheng? Li Dongsheng used to be the vice director of the CCTV. During his time in this position, he introduced several beautiful staff members of CCTV to Zhou Kong for sexual services. He soon became part of Zhou Kong's inner circle and was called the top pimp in Zhongnanhai by the international media. Zhou Kong, the leader of the Political Legal Committee, PLC, is also part of Jiang Zemin's inner circle. While Jiang Zemin started the persecution of Falun Gong in July 1999, was the man responsible for carrying out the persecution. Li Dongsheng took charge of the 610 office at the same time. What is the 610 office? The 610 office was set up on June 10, 1999, during the time when Jiang Zemin was in power. The next year, it changed its name to the Cult-Busting Office of the Central Government. About 1,000 610 offices were embedded in the system, from the local community to the provincial government. It was merged into the Political Legal Committee, PLC, and the Ministry of Public Security by Xi Jinping in March 2018. A 2011 report from the American think tank Jamestown Foundation says 610 functions outside the state system without any official standing. Branches of the 610 office were created throughout China, and a chain of command emerged. Closely linked to the Political Legal Committee, PLC, the office's orders came directly from the party's top echelon, then trickled down to cities and neighborhoods. Much of this structure overlapped with the CCP's Political Legal Committee, PLC. The 610 office directly handled the implementation of the persecution of Falun Gong, including extrajudicial killing, torture and mental torture, sexual abuse, and the illegal confiscation of property. The confidential document clearly stated that on the official visit to Liaoning on July 19, 2013, while examining the national game security, Li Dongsheng acted heavy-handed on Falun Gong by giving the command to intensify and work harder and dig deeper to find Falun Gong members and to curb the rebound of Falun Gong. The confidential document specially mentioned that in August 2013, before the national game, there must be a strong crackdown on Falun Gong by the means of centralized remediation, written in the documents as crackdown on a group, destroy a group, dig deeper to find more groups, send a group to the re-education center, and transform more groups. Together with the confidential document were two relevant documents. One is a document from the 610 office in Liaoning, which has the same date as the confidential document. The provincial document was handed in by Secretary Qi, requesting the approval of the Political Legal Committee in Liaoning Province, and it was signed and approved. Another one was signed by Pan Liguo, governor of Liaoning Province. It guaranteed the execution of the persecution order by Li Dongsheng by implementation of labor camps and all the other state apparatus sources to maintain a high-pressure situation of tackling the transformation of Falun Gong. The escaped entrepreneur named Yu Ming used to be a successful businessman in Shenyang. Unfortunately, 12 years of his life were ruined in the prison and labor camp during the crackdown of Falun Gong, since he is a Falun Gong practitioner. Through a tough and incredible escape, Yu Ming fled out of China and arrived in San Francisco. He brought with him the confidential documents, which are conclusive evidence and proof of the systematic persecution of Falun Gong. The confidential documents not only prove the illegitimacy of 610 office and the CCP regime, but also the mafia characteristic of 610 office and CCP regime. The Political Legal Committee was the only authority higher than the 610 office during the time of Zhou Yongkong. It had become the second central government and was over the central government of Hu Jintao and Wan Jiabao. The confidential documents show at least 3 points. 1. The CCP has always claimed to guarantee justice. However, the evidence shows that the biggest inner ghost is the 610 office and the CCP itself, violating the Constitution and law. The hierarchy of the persecution system illustrates that the 610 office has the power to merge all the state apparatus, coherent in all the system levels, especially the Public Security Bureau, to manipulate justice as subtle as arranging a special court opening for the Falun Gong practitioners. This is a testimony that the CCP can never be trusted to rule the country according to law, as it has claimed. 2. The confidential documents also show how an internal system worked to persecute Falun Gong. The troublemakers threatening stability were actually those high-ranking officials provoking the incidents in the name of sensitive date. For example, the National Game Day, the 2 Sessions Day, arresting people by indication and quota. Thus, the so-called troublemaking people do not really exist at all. 3. The confidential document is also a testimony of proof that Li Dongsheng, the director of the 610 office, was the one who was directly promoting the persecution. Officials from Liaoning province also followed Li's instruction to execute the persecution. Mr. Yu Ming, who smuggled out the confidential documents, is both the victim and the witness of the persecution. One of his stories was that he was kidnapped on August 29, 2013. When I got back to Shenyang from Xi'an, as soon as I got off the plane, I did not stay in Shenyang, since I knew they would start the maintaining stability action. Whenever there would be Olympics, 2 sessions, National Day, or May Day, they will take action at this time, and I know they always do. So I went straight to Panjin. The child of my wife's sister was going to get married. I just went there to attend the wedding ceremony. On the exact date when I arrived in Panjin, local security police came to my siblings' home at 10 o'clock at night to kidnap me. I felt something was wrong. After I escaped from the kidnapping, I searched online and found out that there were 300 people on the arrest list. Most were Falun Gong practitioners. But not only Falun Gong practitioners. Also, the people who went to petition, people who have their own faith, including the house church Christians, all were the object of suppression. Not wanting to be illegally put in jail, nor accept the persecution, as he was being transported to the prison, Mr. Yu Ming freed one hand from the handcuffs, opened the window of the moving prison van, and jumped out. His body hit the ground, and he rolled to a stop. He then quickly ran into a field of crops, successfully escaping. After a lot of setbacks, twists, and turns, he finally got the written evidence of CCP persecuting Falun Gong. According to the report from the American think tank, though Falun Gong remains the primary focus, its targets now include house church Christians, Buddhists, and other religious or spiritual groups, and it has been renamed accordingly. Many human rights lawyers in mainland China criticized 610 as an illegal mafia organization. Mr. Yu Ming says, Although the 610 has merged and the Political Legal Committee, PLC, was degraded, it doesn't mean that it is not acting. In fact, the function was partly embedded into the Political Legal Committee, PLC, and partly embedded in the Ministry of Public Security. This also means that it has integrated 20 years of the accumulated experience of persecuting Falun Gong practitioners. As long as the CCP exists, the persecution will continue in various forms.